fellow cinema enthusiasts, my name is Christina and welcome to another Let's Get Reelz movie review. Today's movie I will be reviewing is Divergent. Divergent is about a girl named Beatrice Pryor who is played by the lovely Shailene Woodley. Beatrice lives in a future world where it is broken down into different factions. There's 5 different factions. There's Dauntless, Abnegation, which Beatrice is from, Candor, Erudite, and Amity. And they all have special traits, and each one has a role to play in society, each faction. Every year they have a choosing ceremony that allows young kids in the faction to leave their faction and go to a different one, or to stay in their faction and continue living their life like they would. The way they find out what faction they belong in is through an aptitude test, and that lets them know if they belong in the one that they're already in or if they belong in another one. So Beatrice takes the test, and it turns out that she has the qualities of Abnegation, Erudite, and Dauntless, which isn't good. The person giving the aptitude test, Tori, played by Maggie Q, is really worried. She tells Beatrice that she is divergent and not to tell anyone about that because it could really not be good for her life. On the day of the choosing, Beatrice decides to go with Dauntless, and these kids are like crazy. They do all kinds of crazy things like jumping out of a train, jumping off buildings, and just running around being crazy, doing nutso stuff. But they provide the security for the city. And Beatrice is small, and a lot of people see her as a stiff, as the Abnegation people are called, and she's not expected to go very far. And at first she kind of doesn't, but then she starts working her way up with training and with the help of a very hot, very, very good looking and quite sexy man, played by Theo James, and eventually she is chosen. She rises to the top of the ranks. She's actually number 1, and I'm not going to give you too much more because there's a lot of stuff in there that's really cool, and I don't want to give the story away. It's a pretty good story. I actually just finished reading the book today, which is why I watched the movie. I will be reviewing that book at a later date with my good friend Lizzie, whose channel I will link down below. Make sure you go check her out. I liked Divergent. As a movie, it was really good. The story of Divergent is something different, and it's something that I enjoy a lot. I liked how the story wasn't focused so much on a relationship, because with young adult stories, young adult novels, like, stupid Twilight and things like that, it's always focused on, like, romance, but this one wasn't. It was focused on, like, just how Beatrice was as a teenager, how she goes about, how teenagers just go about life, and, like, we're all confused when we're teenagers. We all have to make choices. We want to be good. We want to also be selfish and not think of anybody else. And that was a good aspect of it. And then we're trying to also figure out, do we want romance in our lives, And that was something that Beatrice was afraid of. Or Triss. I forgot to mention that she changes her name to Triss when she gets to the Dauntless compound. Yeah, it was just a good story. I found it very interesting. I liked how each of the factions were named after different things, and they took on the quality. Like Erudite were really smart, but they were like really manipulative. You'll see when you watch the movie, if you have watched the movie, they are very manipulative and they are power hungry, the leader from it. I will say that a lot of things changed over from the book to the movie. Some of the changes were pretty good. I liked them. Some of the changes, like the ending, the book ending, is definitely a lot better. But again, I digress. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the book because, as I said, it will be reviewed in full at a later time. The cast was great. I love Theo James. I thought he was a perfect 4. Shailene Woodley, I thought, was pretty good as Triss. She fit, from reading the book, I think she was a good fit for the movie character. Miles Teller plays a kind of evil character. He wasn't so much evil in the movie version, but he was like really, really bad in the book version. Whatever Miles Teller pops up in, it's always made better. He's just such an awesome actor. Kate Winslet comes in and she plays the leader of Erudite, and she just is not nice. She's not a nice person, and you know, she's the one who instigates all this change and this war that's going to be happening. Ashley Judd plays Triss's mother, and again, no movie suffers when she's in it. It's the same thing like Miles Teller. They're such good actors, and she played a really good part, even if it was very small. Tony Goldwyn is in this. He plays Triss's father. Again, he's not in it for very long, but he's not an actor I particularly care for or have seen too much of, really. He was good, he was alright, but all the actors, I will say, fit very, very well into the parts that they were chosen. Oh, and I must mention Zoe Kravitz. She was really good, and her name was Christina, heyo, and she was actually my favorite character in the book because she was from Erudite, and if that was me, I would have stayed there. As you can tell, I love learning. This isn't even any of my collection of books. This doesn't even make a dent in it. I love learning. I love all that stuff. I love knowledge. I would never have left Erudite, but you'll see that this Christina is really crazy. She is dauntless. She was perfect for it, and Zoe Kravitz was excellent in that role. Divergent is a movie I do suggest seeing sometime. It's not the greatest of movies I've ever seen, but it isn't the worst. I enjoyed some of the action that was in it. As I said, a lot of good stuff is carried over into the book. Some things were changed that were okay. But as a whole, it was good. I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys see it if you have yet to see it. If you liked my review/rambling of Divergent, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you have seen this. I would like to talk about it. So let's discuss that. Let's discuss Divergent and see where it goes next. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future movie reviews, because that is what I love to do here. I love to review movies. And as always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.